Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. We are so very excited to see you all this evening. Give us just a moment as we're getting everything situated here. This is our first ever Behind the Brand event. And for those of you that do not know me, my name is Tish Mefford, and I am a Senior Executive Company VP here at Park Lane Jewelry. And I am so excited to be here and honored actually to be here with all of you for our first ever Behind the Design virtual event. I think we have all of our technology working perfectly. Let me know in the chat if it's not, but I think we've got everything going here as it should. For those of you that don't know me, as I said, my name is Tish. I've been in the profession for 17 years. And I joined this profession back during the recession of 2008. I'll share with you a very quick story. I was a small business owner. I was looking for a way to pay two bills in our household. My boys were in occupational therapy at the time. And of course, insurance didn't pay for it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep these boys in this therapy that is very important. We also had a home improvement loan that I was concerned about. And so I got introduced to an opportunity. I thought, okay, if I can share a little jewelry and this is a short-term fix for me until my business picks back up, then I will be golden. I got started. I really didn't know what I was doing, but very quickly, I was able to start earning my first income goal, which was $3,000 a month. And I knew then, if I can do what I'm doing now, and I don't really even know what I'm doing, imagine what is possible once I actually become a professional in this profession. So I ended up closing my small business, and I have been very passionate and committed to helping women be able to build businesses of their dreams ever since. So I'll tell you though, I would have given anything at that moment to have had a webinar like this to be able to attend. So for that reason, we are here with you this evening. For those of you that are guests, that are joining this evening, your stylist thinks an awful lot of you. And so thank you for being here. It means a lot to her that you are here. Maybe you've hosted before, maybe you're one of her VIPers, maybe you've never had the opportunity to see this jewelry in person, and this is your first introduction to Park Lane. Whatever the reason and however you ended up here, we're honored that you're here. And during the next 45, 50 minutes, our goal is to share with you more about our very special brand. And as promised, we are going to be giving away $1,000 in jewelry, which we love, love, love doing. So drop jewelry in the chat if you are excited and hope to be one of our winners. Okay, I hope that during our time together, you see exactly why Park Lane is unlike anything else out there. Because while we do an incredible job of creating beautiful jewelry, we have amazing incentives and a very generous pay, which you're going to be hearing a lot about this evening. We are so much more than a jewelry company. We have we have been impacting women's lives for 70 years, and I'm excited to share a little bit more with you about our history. So let's rewind back for a moment, back to 1955. A young newlywed couple, Shirley and Art Levine, decided to start a jewelry company literally from their kitchen table. Shirley was 16 years old at the time, and Art was 19. But what they lacked in age, they made up for in vision. Shirley had a dream to create a company where women could earn real income, raise their families, working flexibly from home, and be able to do it as often as they wanted. She wanted people to be able to design a life that they loved, and she had this vision decades before this was common. They were pioneers in the direct sales space, and Park Lane Jewelry was born. What's even more amazing is that vision has held strong for literally 70 years now. This company is still family owned and operated, still debt free, and has been led by the Levine family for literally the last 70 years. We'll be celebrating 70 years this August. And let me just say, in this day and age, stability is the new sexy. While many companies shift with trends or they disappear completely, Park Lane has not only survived every economic shift, but we have thrived. And through it all, our mission has stayed the same: to empower people, especially women, with the tools to build freedom, confidence, and income. You are going to be hearing this evening why people are choosing Park Lane today. We all know this industry has changed dramatically over the last few years. And while many companies are shrinking or restructuring, literally Park Lane is growing. Our team and company is up, I think right now, 20% year over year. It's absolutely amazing. And that is all through organic growth, which is incredible. Because we offer things that matter most to people today, and I cannot wait for you to hear more from Sarah, Allie, and Lindsay on this. These are things you're going to be hearing about, things that matter most. And it is no wonder that top industry talent is also choosing Park Lane Jewelry. They come for the product, but they stay for the people, the pay, and the purpose. Because of our heart, our history, and our high standards, Park Lane is thriving. Now, let me share a bit with you all about my own personal story. Before Park Lane, I spent 10 years with another direct sales company that I loved. But when I started thinking long term, and I knew if I was going to dedicate another decade or two to a profession that I absolutely loved, I wanted to partner with the best so that I could offer the best. I wanted to be able to offer the best to my customers, my hosts, and the future team, with not only the best tools, but also the rewards and the opportunity that was available. And what I found in Park Lane was not only stability and a clear future, but also a true partnership. I found a family in the Levine family and in this incredible Park Lane community. And I did not just join a jewelry company. I found a mission. And today that mission is personal. I am on a mission, along with our Treasure Tribe leaders that you'll be hearing from this evening, to build hundreds of six-figure earners, because I believe women deserve financial freedom. And when women thrive, the world changes. And this is not just a business, it is a movement. And I want to personally invite you to be a part of it. So I'm now excited to introduce you to Lindsay Hale, who's going to be sharing more with you about the financial stability when partnering with when partnering with Park Lane. And let me share with you a little bit about Lindsay. Lindsay, and I'm going to invite you, Lindsay, to join me on the screen if you can now. Lindsay is a mother of 5. She is a parent of 4 teenagers, and I truly believe that if you can, I'm gonna bring you up here, Lindsay. I personally believe that if you can, oops, what did I do here? I'm sorry. Hang tight just a moment, guys. There we go. There we go. I personally believe if you can parent 4 teenagers, you can literally build the business of your dreams. But what's really cool about Lindsay is she joined similarly the way I did. She came in through our Direct Appoint program. She had over 13 years in the industry, 13 years of experience before she joined Park Lane. And here at Park Lane, she has crushed it. She's built a multiple 6-figure income. She is a multiple Mercedes car bonus earner. She's earned every trip since she joined. She's traveling the world with Park Lane. And I might add, this woman loves to use some of her Park Lane income to go see some of the coolest concerts on the planet and take her kids with her. So, Lindsay, we're excited to hear from you tonight.
Well, thank you, Tish. I am so excited to be here. Like Tish said, I am from a very small town in the middle of Illinois. So when I say Illinois, a lot of people think Chicago. I live in El Paso, Illinois, you guys. And there's about 2,000 people here. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We have 5 children, 4 teenagers, and a little surprise 6-year-old. And you guys, I have been in the industry. Actually, this is so much fun, but it's been 18 years this week. So actually today's the 7th, right? Yes, today is actually my 18-year anniversary in the industry, which is absolutely insane. My youngest or my oldest children know nothing else, but I will tell you there was a time when we couldn't pay our bills and things were really scary. I had two really young kids at home. I had a 6 month old and a 2 year old, and we could not pay our bills. And I remember sitting on the floor with my husband with a stack of bills that felt like it was a mile high. I'm sure that many of you have had that maybe feeling of dread before, like, how are we going to pay these bills? I was doing in-home daycare, and we decided I needed to go get a real job. And so I was looking for that real job when the direct selling industry kind of fell into my lap. And um, despite a lot of the things I thought I knew about the industry, I decided I would give it a try because frankly, I was desperate and I really wanted to create a different legacy for my children. My mom was a single parent who we were latchkey kids, and I really wanted to be home when they got home. That was really important to me. And so we started doing, or so I decided I'd dive in. Much to my surprise, similar to Tish, I was shocked at that I was actually good at it. That all it really was, it wasn't selling, it was sharing something that you love. And women do that so often. And so I was at that first company for about 13 years, actually over 13 years. I built to the top of the company, was making multiple six-figure income there, and things started to change and shift. And I know that maybe many of you know someone. Please drop a one in the comments if maybe you know someone or have been affected by by a business that has shifted or changed, whether it's in the direct selling industry or maybe a different industry where you were with a company and maybe you've lost a job, they've had cutbacks, things like that. And so I was in a situation where I had to make a really difficult decision with thousands of women on my team. I heard of a friend who was here at Park Lane Jewelry, and I found out a little bit of information. And I was the main breadwinner in our family at the time that I needed to make this shift. So it was an incredibly, incredibly scary shift for me. And I see that many of you have been in this situation, and you know how scary it can be, especially when you're walking into a job where it is all dependent on how hard you work. So I knew I could work hard, but I didn't know if I really believed in the company. And so I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about the financial stability of Park Lane and why I felt that Park Lane was different than where I had come from and why I made the leap anyway. And now, 5 years later, I could not be happier about the decision I made. I've never felt more financially stable or felt like I was with a company or in a season of life that was more financially stable than I do right now. So, what these are some just really interesting facts for you guys that I just absolutely blew my mind. So, Shirley and Arthur Levine, when they started Park Lane Jewelry, they built a family while they were starting it, much like I did. And I really related to that. So they had 8 children, and during the first 13 years, simply lived off of the money that Shirley made by going home to home doing parties, you guys, which absolutely is amazing. They didn't take any of the money from the actual company. After 13 years, they started taking a 2% cut. And when they gave the business over to 3 of their sons, they kept that 2%, but you guys, they kept it across the board. It's 2% divided by 3 people. This is the most generous, selfless company because they believe so strongly in their mother's vision to help and inspire women and families. And this is so unusual because the company takes 2%. Most companies take as much as 18% for themselves. So that is a huge difference. Our payout to people in commissions and overrides and bonuses is over 70%, closer to 72%. Most companies pay out approximately 35%, you guys. This is just absolutely like unheard of in the industry. Not only that, but I wanted to know for myself, and maybe some of you are thinking the same thing. Well, I was with a company that told me that they were financially stable, but what I found out later when they actually eventually closed that they honestly weren't. And some of the cutbacks that I was feeling and the changes in the business I was in were because they weren't financially stable. So what actually sets us apart, and how do I have proof of that since I can't see the books at Park Lane, right? So I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I think are mind blowing and very eye opening. And I know that my friends Sarah and Allie are going to be sharing some things that are probably going to piggyback because we just don't have enough hours in the day for me to share with you all of the things at Park Lane that are so abundant and rich here. So, you guys, First and foremost, I want to tell you that we are a party plan business. In a world of social selling and influencers, you guys, we are a party plan business. Party plan works. It's worked for decades and decades and decades, and it still works. And one of the things that I love about party plan, without going into too much detail, I started when I knew that I needed to replace my previous company's income. I started deciding that I was going to do some writing and speaking of my own, and I started trying, like, really working hard to be an influencer. And you guys, that is such a bottomless pit. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars to try to teach myself how to be an influencer. And while I was an incredibly hard worker and incredibly smart, there's no predictability in it. It's all about algorithms. It's all about beating the algorithms and finding the right people in this huge haystack of social media, right? That can be incredibly overwhelming. But with Party Plan, it's so simple. You find one person who can find 5 to 12 friends, and those 5 to 12 friends can gather either in a living room or online, and you can have so much fun together. Women love to shop together, right? You love to shop with your friends. You love to share with your friends when you find an amazing deal. And so this is absolutely what you find with partying, okay? It's so much fun gathering your friends together. Sure, the industry has pivoted, as not as many people are doing parties in living rooms anymore as they used to, but we are still seeing people doing parties in living rooms. We're seeing people doing parties in Messenger on Facebook. We're seeing people doing parties on TikTok. We're seeing people doing parties on Facebook. There's so many different ways to bring a party to someone, and this is the way that women love to shop. There's predictability in this. We know that because of our incredibly rich customer sale, where Park Lane is currently giving away $100 item with every single order placed. You guys, it's so crazy that we can predict roughly each customer is going to spend around $100 per sale, and each hostess is going to bring us 5 to 10 customers. Okay, so that means that if we are a beginner making 30 to 50%, which is the richest in the industry, you guys, you will not find anywhere else that is paying more than what Park Lane is paying. Okay, so I'm doing math with you really quickly, and I don't love math. I love words, but I've got to tell you guys this. So 5 to 10 orders per party at $100 per sale, you're bringing in at the lowest rate $150 to $300 a week for beginners. How could $600 to $1,200 a month change your life? And I want to ask that because I want to tell you about 2 women on my team, okay? Because you can look at me and Sarah and Tish and Allie here tonight, and you can say, well, of course they're making multiple 6 figures. They're talking about decades of work. I want to tell you about Tracy on my team, who makes over 6 figures, who worked in the healthcare industry. And I said worked because she literally last week had a baby, and she is stepping away from her job because she is making more in Park Lane Jewelry than she made in healthcare. You guys, that is absolutely life changing for Tracy and her family. I want to tell you about my friend Samantha, who just started with Park Lane Jewelry. Oh, so Tracy's been here for 3 years. Let me make sure I say that. Samantha started with Park Lane Jewelry. She had a very short window of time with a previous company and came in through what we call our direct appoint program that you're going to hear a little bit more about. Samantha is a trial attorney, or she was, because today was her last day as a trial attorney convicting sex offenders in the state of Washington. Samantha is absolutely incredible. And here's the thing that is so mind blowing, you guys. In the last year, 1 year that she's been with Park Lane Jewelry, while she's a mother of 2 little girls doing this high profile work, she has paid off $99,000 in debt and has been able to stay home in 1 year, you guys. I know that those aren't the only 2 stories, but those are the 2 most powerful stories that I have for you guys right now on the top of my mind. Not only will you see that kind of income, you guys, but Park Lane is paying out huge bonuses all the time. We are earning free jewelry every single month that is going to help you succeed in your business. We have Mercedes car programs that is more money in your pocket. We are constantly adding to our programs. We give $20 per order to every single hostess, which makes our hostess plan the richest in the industry. And once they hit 10 orders, they get $40 per order. That's a $400 shopping spree just for finding 10 friends to shop, you guys. Oftentimes, our rewards, not oftentimes, but sometimes our rewards are more than what the actual sales are on the party, which just blows my mind. And those are all signs of the stability of the company financially. People are seeing income coming in right away here at Park Lane. Where at my other company, where we were a ground floor opportunity, we were always scared. We never were sure if we were actually going to continue to make the kind of money we made. When things started going south, they went south very quickly. The wisdom of a 7-decade-old company and the wisdom of the women who come together here at Park Lane, who have had literally decades worth of experience, bring us so much energy and so much opportunity to create financial health. We are a financially healthy company here at Park Lane. You don't have to worry that we're not going to continue to be party plan because we believe so strongly in it. And we're seeing the second and third generation in Park Lane be part of the business. So we know the vision won't change. There's so much more for you guys to hear about through our products and our program. And so I would love to introduce to you guys my sweet friend, Sarah Clement. Sarah is a boy mom. She's built multiple six-figure income. She has worked this life around her busy family and loves traveling the world with Park Lane Jewelry because we take 2 trips every single year. And I'm sure somebody's gonna be talking about that a little bit. You guys, she's obsessed with her Mercedes sedan, and she is a true Southern girl who has transplanted to the Pacific Northwest. And I will tell you, before I joined Park Lane, I met a few women, all of those women being here. I met them in person, and Sarah was so incredibly hospitable. And I hope that you guys find her to be so charming and hospitable tonight that you are just absolutely blown away by this company the same way I was.
Oh, that was so nice. Thank you, Lindsay. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Sarah Clement. I am a company vice president here at Park Lane Jewelry. I've been in the industry for 17 years, and as Lindsay said, I'm a mom of 2 boys. But after my second baby was born, and Lindsay, I didn't know that we have a very similar story. I was laid off from my job after my second baby was born, and I was on unemployment. And the bills were stacking up, and I was looking at having to go back to work, and I did not want to have to go back to corporate America. And just during that same time, I had old girlfriend of mine reach out to me from high school, kind of out of the blue, and said, "Do you want to join this jewelry company and direct sales with me?" And I kind of laughed and said, "Well, I don't wear jewelry, and I don't know if direct sales is for me." Right. And then, of course, 17 years later, I'm still doing it. But here's what happened is that my husband kind of made a bet or a dare with me and said, "Look, we need your income. So if you can figure out a way to earn that $2,000 and replace it per month with this company, let's do it. Why not? You have nothing to lose." So as you said, Lindsay, I dove right into that sparkly water, didn't know what I was doing, didn't even wear any jewelry, and was able to do that very quickly because I had a really strong why, and I was not going back to corporate America. So, anyways, my job today is to talk to you guys about the incredible programs and the products that we have here at Park Lane. And I wanted to tell you just a real quick story because I was with another jewelry company. I said, I've been in this industry for 17 years, but it's been jewelry the whole time. 10 with my previous company and 7 here with Park Lane. So when I was looking to partner with another company, along with many other things I was looking at, product was important to me. Moving from jewelry to jewelry, my customers were used to my jewelry, right? They were loyal, and I had to be sure that I was going to partner with a company that had high quality jewelry, incredible style, and great value all at the same time. And Park Lane absolutely delivered. The jewelry at my old company was gorgeous. It was trendy, but it was also very niche and very expensive. So I had trouble getting outside of big cities to sell to the jewelry. So that also meant that I had team members who had trouble doing the same, which made the business really limited for me. So that was something I was really interested in looking. And what I loved about Park Lane was that we had style for every woman and for every budget. And if you don't know, our jewelry has no lead, no nickel, no cadmium, none of the bad stuff that typically makes you allergic to jewelry. Only high quality metals. We hold our production to elevated standards, and some of our pieces are actually even made in the very same factories as well-known couture jewelry brands. So we have the highest standards in the industry. And I talked to our designer earlier this week, and she said we have the lowest percentage of returns ever in the history of Park Lane with under 2%. And of course, we are always striving to do better. So, anyways, I also asked our designer this week when I had the privilege of working with her is what is the impact that a 70-year-old company has on production or with those relationships. And she told me, if you guys don't know this, we are the world's largest direct selling jewelry business. And because we order in large quantities, we maintain strong relationships with our manufacturers, we operate completely debt free. It's able to keep us moving things forward at the corporate level. And we always pay our partners on time and keep our prices low for your customer and gives you that amazing value. And these relationships, you guys, they give us priority over some other companies that might be newer, may not have those same relationships. And of course, if we need to expedite things for back orders or over the holidays, we have those relationships so we can do that. And here's a fun fact. When COVID happened, it kind of changed the retail world upside down. And I found out that Park Lane actually pays to express ship our jewelry via airplane. Now, why is that important? Because during COVID, jewelry was stuck out in shipping containers, and backed up. If you work, put a 1 in the comments if you worked for a company where potentially you had a long, long, long list of back orders. I'm so proud to say that we hardly ever had anything on back order during COVID, and that's very common here. And that's because we, have the extra money. We run lean at the corporate level, and we can pay a little bit extra to get our jewelry here via airplane. So that gives us more control as well. So let's move on to the programs here, because when I tell you this, and it's funny, Tiffany Aguilera, one of my team members, is watching, and she put hashtag mind blowing because I wrote down, I was blown away when I found out about some of these programs. And once you hear this, you can't unhear it because it's so amazing. And I was going to tell you guys about what Lindsay mentioned about the 2%. And since we operate so lean at a corporate level and that our owners only take 2% across the board, and we are able to pay so much back to the field. I had a conversation with one of the owner's wives, and she was just chatting to me. I think we were at the pool on one of our trips, and she said, have you ever heard of, happy wife, happy life? She said, here we operate happy field, happy company. And that's why we want to make sure we pay as high as possible back through programs and through compensation back to the field. So anyways, blown away. Let's get into the details. So, the customer sale, how is Park Lane generous? You guys know we have a customer sale. You can buy 2 at very little, your least expensive, and get up to 4 items at 50% off. That comes with bonus items, all of the things. And we're able to do that because we operate lean. And as Lindsay mentioned, that gives you that $100-ish order per average. And then the hostess plan. You guys, our average hostess gets $400 in free jewelry. I feel like I should drop the mic and say it again, because I recently partnered with a company to do as a hostess to do a party, and all I got were a few half off items, and these were expensive products. So I love that. First of all, we get free. And as Lindsay said, sometimes the rewards outweigh the sales, which is fine. We're able to do that because of our partnerships, and I love it. So, sorry, I lost my place a little bit. Let's move on to our stylist perks really quick. Okay, stylists earn 30 to 50%. 30% is high in our industry, and that's where you start off here, which is pretty awesome. Okay, you can also earn up to 15% if infinitely deep on your downline. That is also very high. That is on retail sales. And I think that I like to explain Park Lane as an incentive-based company. And I only have one other company to compare it to, which is where I came from. And I think Park Lane is this way because you don't have to jump through a million hoops to earn something and then potentially lose it. You never lose your rank here. We have no sales minimums. But what we do like to do is put a bunch of fun carrots out in front of you to push you towards wanting to be motivated to get those things. And not only are you going to get entered to win prizes and trips and free jewelry, you're bringing money to your bottom line and back to your family, which is amazing. So there's a couple programs I want to touch on real quick. And my favorite one is our Rich Rewards program. And it's a free jewelry program we offer here every single month, where you can earn up to $1,150 in free jewelry of your choice, you guys, of your choice. And that's probably why your stylist is so able to be so generous with giveaways and all of the other things. That's also, as a leader, it's really important to me that I get to be able to give that back to my team to motivate them. And I'm not spending money out of pocket to do that. I will say at my last company, I was doing a lot of that, and that got very expensive and ended up weighing on my bottom line quite a bit. So who loves to travel? You guys, give me a 2 in the comments if you absolutely love to travel. My personal favorite thing about Park Lane is that we get to travel internationally twice per year. And these trips are not just trips, they're special. They are experiences. They're 5-star. We pay round trip airfare. You get transportation from the airport. You can bring your family if you choose to pay extra to bring them. And guess what? If you don't like to travel, you can cash it out. You don't even have to go. They're going to give you cash back, which I think is amazing. And the other really great thing about Park Lane, it's not just the top of the top that are earning these trips. They are attainable. And over the last 7 years with Park Lane, I've traveled to destinations like Greece, Rome, St. Martin, St. Thomas. We just went there. Paris, Ireland, and in fact, in Paris, you guys, we stayed at the same hotel that Mariah Carey stayed at. So when I tell you 5-star, I absolutely mean 5-star. The next program I'd love to just touch on is our Mercedes car program. I love that Lindsay says, I love my Mercedes. I didn't think I was a car girl until I, started earning the car payment here, but it is pretty nice to drive around a car, which is great. And we call it the MCP, Mercedes Cash Program. And I heard someone recently call it the More Cash Please program, because yes, if you do not want to drive a Mercedes, if that's not your jam. In fact, I had a gal on my team a little while ago, and she had a lot of kids and she wanted a fancy minivan. So she used the cash because, again, you can cash that out. She used that towards the new car that she wanted, which was pretty awesome. And then the last big program I want to talk about is something that's really unique to Park Lane, and it's called our Direct Appoint program. So give me a 3 in the comments if any of you have had leadership experience in the direct selling industry before. This is a unique program that we've had since 1955, you guys. I think the story goes that Art didn't understand why, he said he had banking on the mind. He's like, so if you're the president of the bank and you're going to go to a competitive bank, you mean I'm going to have to start at a teller in this industry and work my way back up? He's like, that makes no sense. We want to recognize experience because it's something to build a team in this industry. So, I don't know. I came in through the Direct Appoint program. I know all of your panelists did. And had they not had that program, it definitely was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to come over here, because I felt seen. And it meant a lot to me that I could come in with the same perks and grow to that level of what I had already earned and worked so hard to do. So what I think it also does too is that it attracts so many leaders from other companies, and we respect that past experience, and it lets us kind of be a melting pot of new ideas and better systems and practical tools that directly benefit our entire stylist force, and creates that amazing culture of collaboration. Oh, and I almost forgot, fundraising. Who likes to give back? Who likes to give back in your community? Put a 4 in the side chat. What I love is that we have a 50% give back program here at Park Lane, meaning if you choose any 501c3 organization of your choice, that matters to you. The company does not choose it for you. You pick it. So it can be something for your community or your family, and that can mean something to you. If I have a $1,000 party, Park Lane is writing a $500 check back to that organization that I've chosen. And guess what? That other 500, I make my commission on. So again, how is Park Lane able to do this? Look at it all through the lens of the amount of power you have in being a 70-year-old, 7-decade-old company. Some stylists actually even just solely run their business on the fundraising program. And actually, I was going to say Allie, who I'm about to introduce, Allie Santano, she did a fundraiser for her daughter's drill team, you guys, and was able to donate $7,000 over a 2-week period back to the drill team. Is that just, it's crazy what is possible here. So you can see why I'm blown away by the opportunity. And thanks for letting me talk a little bit about products and program. But with that, I want to take a minute to introduce one of our top leaders. a multi six-figure earner. She leads a team of thousands. She earns every trip. She trains at every one of our conventions. And she also happens to be one of my Park Lane besties here. And she's going to be sharing all about culture and community. Welcome, Miss Ali Santano.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, I was the IT girl, y'all, on the back end. So I see someone's taking it over. Well, thank you, Sarah. That was really sweet. I heard so many. I'm here to talk to you guys about the culture. And when we were talking about this, about what we wanted to share with you all, we knew culture was one of them, but I was like, I want to talk about that. And so I'm really excited to share because culture is really more than a buzzword out there in the workplace. It really is actually what keeps people in their workplace. And it isn't just a tagline. It's definitely what it feels like to be where you are and to be here. So I could have actually pulled buzzwords from all of what the ladies have already said, but I do have some things I want to share with you. But before I do, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, or like Sarah said, I'm Ali Santano. I'm in the Dallas area. I have been with Park Lane for 7 years. I am a company vice president. Like these other ladies, I also have had 10 years of experience at another jewelry company prior to hearing about Park Lane. So 17 years ago, which my daughter just went on her first college tour, today of all days, I was pregnant with her and I decided to host my sister's first jewelry party. I thought, well, I really probably should because I'm her sister and that's what good sisters do. They say yes. I was working full time in pharmaceutical sales. It was supposed to be the best mom job on the planet, and it was a phenomenal career for me to have. In the back of my mind, I was always wondering, like, what's going to be my $1 million idea? My husband and I used to joke about what our $1 million idea was going to be one day. We were in our late 20s, and then insert direct sales. I sat down. Well, I did it for my first show, and then I started to hear about what this could be like. But I was like, you know what? I'm about to go on a maternity leave. While I was on maternity leave, I did maybe 1 or 2 shows in home a week. It was a guiltless girls' night out. My husband had to figure it out with the baby. Don't call me, figure it out. And I always say it was like one of the best things that ever could have really accidentally been into place, that I was testing the waters and had kind of like a guiltless girls' night out while I was on my maternity leave. During that period of time, I started to hear about how this industry could actually be a profession. It could be a full-time income. And Tish Mefford, who some of you know, but many of you don't know, is actually my oldest sister. She's usually introducing me as the baby sister, and I get to I get to tell everybody she's my oldest sister. So at that time, I have 2 sisters, Tish and my other sister, Christy. At that time, I remember specifically Tish sitting me down, and she had already been through the stage of, I have babies at home and I want to be home with them, but how can I still have a business? She had already been through that stage of life, and she sat me down and showed me a vision of what actually it could look like if I did take this business and run with it with wild passion and force, kind of on a whim. So my husband will tell you that I quit my job without telling him. We let him have his moment with that story. But that's a little bit of how I fell into doing this full time. I don't know many people that have that rip the Band-Aid story like I have. Most people do this on the side of something, but really that was the next 10 years of my life. I built an incredible business, met all these wonderful women, and then Park Lane enters. And I started to hear, just like Sarah was saying, about those programs that they had. I was hearing from who I was learning about Park Lane from, about the culture, what the stylists say, how there had been people that had been there for 10, 20, 30 years and more. One of the women that I was talking there had been at the company for 35 years at that point. And I was like, oh my God, does anyone even keep a job for 35 years? And that really does boil down to the culture. So it's not really just a buzzword. It's really how it feels to be here. So I thought I would just share some stories behind what that is like. Okay. So my first story that I have to kind of exemplify the culture of Park Lane is whenever I went to my first in-person convention. Okay. I had put down my other business, and I had, not because Park Lane required me to, but because that company did. And I went to my the first in-home convention when I was about 4 months in. I remember walking in that room and feeling refreshed. It was refreshing. One thing I loved about Park Lane, like Sarah had mentioned, is that you have a very broad range of variety of jewelry styles to offer the world. Okay. The whole world can shop Park Lane, not just a specific style type. Well, I walked in that big room the first time I did, and I saw every walk of life. I saw young women, I saw mature women, I saw husbands that were there to support their spouses that had been there for 10, 20, 30 years. It was so heartwarming and refreshing, and I absolutely loved that feeling. Okay. The second story that I have to share with you that really tells the story of, a cultural point of Park Lane is the story of when I joined Park Lane and I got a public welcome on Facebook. The CEO was welcoming my sisters and I, actually. And there were like 200, 300, 400 comments from strangers whom I had never met before, saying things like, welcome to the family, welcome home. You've made the best decision. So glad you are here. This was so Park Lane's number one company culture is that it is 100% unity over competition. I think that comes with a family-run company and the decades and decades of success. So the second thing I want to share with y'all is that how many times have you actually heard someone say it's different here? Well, here it's different with a capital D due to all of those programs and things that Lindsay and Sarah shared with you, but it's not just talk. Here's the main difference that I'll share with you. At Park Lane, you don't climb over people. You are growing with them, okay? Sarah talked a little bit about the incentives. I think it was Sarah, maybe Lindsay, about how incentives, it's a very incentive-based company. So here at Park Lane, incentives are not just for the few. Incentives are for the masses. Park Lane has so much, because they are very financially stable and fiscally responsible, that they have a lot of money to invest in incentives. So they invest in incentive jewelry, or they invest in giving free trips away to people of all different levels of business, starting at the stylist that is at the hobby level. So what that does in terms of culture is it makes everybody feel like incentives are generously put out there for the masses and not just for the few. And it empowers and inspires everybody to work for them as a leader. And put leader in the comments if you've had leadership experience either at Park Lane or another company where you have really helped and coached people on your team to achieve things. Okay. So this mentality of incentives for the masses, what that does as a leader or as a coach, I'm just going to paint this picture for you. Okay. I have two perspectives. I have a very abundant based compensation plan like Park Lane. That was one of the words I heard Sarah say. I could like, well, that could be the buzzword, abundant and rich. And then I also had a fear-based compensation plan and program that I was at with another company that didn't have all of these things in there. So the two different contrasting experiences to help people. One is, hey, Did you know that Park Lane has an incentive out there that if you submit $500 in these 2 weeks, you could actually get entered for a trip to Cancun? I don't know if you know that, but I want to make sure you did. In case you're working for it, I'm here to help if you'd like to make sure and get entered. Versus, hey, I wanted to let you know our team is going for a promotion. Susie Q up there is going for a promotion, and we're asking that everybody submit $500 so Susie Q can get promoted. Which one would you rather actually have as a leader, as a tool to help people feel empowered? It's very you focused, meaning me as the leader. The incentives are for you. They are for my team. And because they're growing, we are all growing together. Okay. So it's very different here, but it's not just talk. Okay. Comp plan and programs. You heard all about that from Lindsay and from Sarah. But what I will tell you that the way it is built with never losing your career rank, not having any minimums or quotas, never demoting, never reclassifying your title. I'm saying the same thing multiple ways. Okay. It is very peaceful. I would say the comp plans plus the programs equal peace. And when those things really matter is when you have life happen. So another story that I'll tell you guys is that short story, but it's not unique to me. Many of you all too have had some sort of a medical crisis in your family. I've had it multiple times now. My sister went through breast cancer treatment. My husband went through cancer treatment about 5 years ago. That was my firsthand under my roof every day situation. And right now, actually, my mom is going through cancer treatment. All are doing very well. Okay. My husband and I are going on a date after this, actually. But during those times, life gets in the way. And when you can't thrive in that area of your life, it's hard to thrive in your business. But it's very peaceful knowing that things are not going to be taken away from you during those periods of times, those difficult life times. And it could be an issue with a child. It could be another financial crisis, maybe a loss of a job. It could be whatever, but it's very peaceful knowing that those things are not taken away from you while you're down. I call it is not a shoot you while you're down compensation plan. And that brings a very peaceful culture. And then the last little bit of culture that I want to talk about is actually our team. Okay. So I've been on this team for 17 years because I was with my sisters. I was with my sister, Tish Mefford, 17 years ago. I do not have a point of comparison other than the team that I'm on right now. But I want to share some things with you that I hear from other people. Because remember, because Park Lane has this direct appoint program, many people come from other companies, okay, with experience from other companies and other teams. So we on our team believe that the most successful teams are the highest trained teams. So we're passionate about sharing value and about sharing training for our team. So there's no shortage of opportunities to learn and get better. But since we believe more in unity over competition, all of our training and all of our systems for sales and sponsoring and team building and leadership and growth and trip earning and getting started and helping other people get started, all of our systems come from the people on our team that are doing it well. We do not have a secrets type of culture on our team. We have a sharing. When more people are successful, we are all better because of that. And that is generally the culture of our team. It's an abundance, it's a giving and very generously abundant culture on our team. We celebrate not just big wins, but all wins, big and small. And we have a lot of fun too. So in closing, I will close with like these 3 words really to describe our culture: peace, purpose, and possibility. Okay. You can build a business and keep your peace. You can grow a team without losing your soul. And you can be part of something that really feels like home and a family. So with that, I would love and have the have the joy of reintroducing my oldest sister, my big sister, Tish Mefford. So she already told you a little bit about herself, but what I will tell you is that she's all the things that she described Sarah, and Lindsay described me, and Lindsay described Sarah. She's a trip earner. She's never not earned one, never not been on one. She is the Mercedes. She just got her third Mercedes. I was following it down the highway the other day and I was like, I forgot that's a new one. I need to check hers out. But y'all, she is a servant leader and she's a visionary. She builds this. Sometimes she's like, y'all, I have an idea. And we're like, oh, hold on to your seat. She's a visionary. And that's actually what she's going to be sharing with you. So Tish, take it away.
Thank you, Allie. You guys, I'm so sitting here, I'm like this like proud mama bear because I loved everything that Allie had to say and everything that Lindsay and Sarah have shared with you all this evening. And we could keep you guys here truly for hours. And we love talking about it. That's when you know you've truly found your home is I am as excited today to share how life-changing this brand can be for you as I was in my first year. But it's funny, Allie was talking about incentives and Allie was giving like the specific example and drop a one in the chat if you're a stylist here. And you guys know how much our company and specifically our CEO loves surprising us. So he called me earlier and he was like, I hear y'all are doing this, big event tonight. And I was like, yes, we are. And he said, well, if I share something with you, you can share it with the people. So y'all are hearing it here first. Okay. You're literally hearing it here first. So, recently we had an opportunity to earn a vintage piece of jewelry from the vault. Every once in a while, Park Lane does something like this. And this was the piece that I actually earned. Okay. It just arrived a few days ago. It's so incredibly gorgeous. Like I haven't had a chance to wear it yet, but I am like, oh my goodness. I'm going to definitely be taking it to Zurich on our trip with Park Lane next month. So we earned this. I earned this and just literally just opened it up a couple days ago. Okay. So, and you all also heard that we travel the world with Park Lane and we just started our new incentive earning period. We don't yet know where we're going next. It's actually going to be announced next week. Drop in the chat if your guess of where you think we're going next. I know we're all over the board with all the places that we think we may be going. My guess is Spain, and I have no idea. That's my guess. But anyway, so he said, everyone that submits $500 in net non-sales over the next 2 days, which we're going to be closing out our week on Wednesday, everybody that submits 500 net and non, you are number one going to be receiving a luxe piece of Park Lane jewelry from the vault. That's the first thing we're going to get. Number one. Number two, we're getting 500 bonus points for the next trip. So instead of getting 500 points for the next trip, we're getting 1,000 points for the next trip. Okay. Did you hear that? So 500 bonus points. And of course, you will get entered into the giveaway that I launched this morning for the next few days, which is that gorgeous pearl bag that I don't have here to show you guys, but like that is one small example, like literally one small example. They're just because we want to, and we love you all, and we're so proud of you all, and we thought it'd be fun for you to be able to surprise everybody tonight. So like, that is an example of what this company is all about. And when you are with a financially stable company that's celebrating 70 years in business, the company can do these promos just literally because. So with that, I want to say that as we close tonight, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Whether you're already part of Park Lane or simply curious about what's possible, this moment matters. This company has a 70-year legacy, and I believe the future is going to be even more impactful than our past. We are not just building a jewelry business. We are building movements. We've talked about them this evening. We are creating options for women. We are rewriting what success and freedom and flexibility can look like. And we are doing it together. Why is it different here? It's different because we have a business model that is incredibly simple and it is a whole lot of fun. And I'm a believer that the minute the business gets hard, it's easy to stop. The minute people stop having fun, it's easy to put it down. And here, it's all about fun and it's all about simplicity. I personally believe Park Lane will become a household name, not just for our stunning jewelry, but because of the life-changing opportunity around it. The world is shifting and people are searching for something that is meaningful, flexible, and smart. And we are that something. So wherever you are right now in your journey, whether you're new here, whether you're seasoned, or maybe you're still deciding, I hope tonight opened your eyes to what's possible. And even if it isn't for you, the reason it's important that you are here is I know we as women, we connect other women to things that we believe in and are great. And just like you call your, bestie when you see the sale of a century that you don't want her to miss out on, or you send her, a reel and like, here are the jeans I love, get them while they're half price. Like, this is one of those things where I want you to think about, who do you know that could use Park Lane in their life? Who do you know that this business could impact the way it's impacted some of the examples, the people's lives of the examples we've been sharing tonight? Because this is the thing, you guys, we are just getting started. And the vision ahead, it is big, it is bold, and I hope that you will be a part of it, part of us, and a part of this. So why is now a great time? First of all, we have an impression bracelet offer where anyone that joins for the next few days, we've got the special going on this week, you receive an impression bracelet of your choice with your kit. So essentially, when you are joining for $129, you are getting $500 in jewelry that you get to select what you want. You're getting an additional impression bracelet of your choice, which is about a $200 value, and you're getting a website for a year. It's almost a $900 $900 value that you are getting for $129. You have literally nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain. We also have our new collection, which is launching next week. We have our virtual conference, Sparkle, which we haven't even talked about that tonight, but we offer our conferences virtually, which makes it literally accessible for everyone. And you don't have to interrupt your life to be able to get world-class training or incur the expenses that come with traveling to a location to do a conference in person. So we have that happening next week, and you could be a part of that. Perfect, absolutely perfect timing. I like to share like what is my sisterly advice, since I actually do have two sisters that do this business with me. You've met Allie, one of them, and they've heard my sisterly advice many a times. I always tell people that if you are remotely intrigued, you owe it to yourself to just give it a try, because you don't know what you're saying no to until you try it. And there's no risk. You've got nothing to lose. You've got a whole lot to gain, and you can have your stylist or person that invited you here, connected you to this Behind the Brand event that helps you get started and launches you and teaches you and mentors you. And I always suggest, like, come in, do 2 or 3 virtual or in-person events, and then you can make an educated decision on if this is something you love and want to continue. Or if you're like, I love my stylist, I love the jewelry, but I don't think it's for me. You've lost nothing. You've earned your small investment back and more. You've gotten a lot of jewelry out of it, and you can pat yourself on the back because you have tried something. After being an entrepreneur now for 26 years, 10 years as a small business owner and 17 years in this industry, I believe so strongly that life is too short to not try something that you are remotely intrigued in. And again, because there is no risk involved, I can so confidently say, like, you'll be thanking me that I encouraged you. If you're on the fence about it, we recommend a decider party. So you can go back to your stylist that invited you and said, I'm not 100% sure, but why don't we do that decider party that Tish was talking about? And basically what that entails is y'all do a party together. And if at the end of it, you decide you love it, and you decide you want to join, then you can join. And if you don't, then you can still be the host and get the host rewards and all the benefits that come from that. So that's always a smart option if you're just not sure. But with that, we've got some jewelry to give away. So I'm going to invite my counterparts to come back and join me here. And I hope I didn't leave anything off. I feel like we covered a lot. We covered a lot here. I picked, or I did not. We picked 5 winners, and we are giving away 5 impression bracelets. Now we're not going to show the color. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to
Surprises.
surprises. We're not going to tell you which one you're receiving because we absolutely believe in the element of surprise. Why? It's one of the reasons our Sparkle Box is so incredibly successful, which, by the way, I'm wearing, if you guys haven't seen, wearing the necklace from our July Sparkle Box, which I think is gorgeous. But we will be giving away 5 impression bracelets. And the winners of our 5 impression bracelets are Tracy Aerosmith, Judy Crowell, Denise Peed, Maria Suarez, and Amanda Dunn. So I'm going to repeat one more time. Tracy Aerosmith, Judy Crowell, Denise Peed, Maria Suarez, and Amanda Dunn. So congratulations to all of our winners. We love giving away jewelry, and we really love giving away impression bracelets. Okay, what's next? What else do we have?
Well, Tish, we're gonna have everybody share. We have a survey for everyone to fill out, but why don't we give some jewelry away also for doing that?
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay, so you guys tell us what you think here. So we put together a survey because we are all about plan, do, and review. And we wanted to get your feedback. Like, did you love this? Was this helpful? What did you love about it? Would you recommend us doing it again? All the things. So we put this survey together. So basically what you're saying, Allie, is everybody that does the survey, we give away more jewelry.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know. I had that idea just now, and we have a lot of jewelry because we get so much, like Sarah said, or Lindsay, we get so much free jewelry. So I'm going to drop a link here in the chat, and it is a Google survey. Like Tish said, we love to improve. All right. And so we want to hear what you have to think about tonight, and then just kind of some of your thoughts about some of our content too. But for filling out that survey, we are going to give away some more jewelry. And I don't know, how much should we give away? Should we give away? Anybody have an idea?
Can we do another
I think we should
1,000?
do, yeah, like 1,000. We should do
Another
we should do
thousand.
Yeah.
Let's
another
just
one.
give away another $1,000 in jewelry, like Oprah does, you know?
And you get an impression bracelet, and you get an impression bracelet.
I know. I have my beautiful ones right here. Okay, so I'm going to drop this in the chat, and let's see, and it'll probably fly. So maybe everybody stop commenting for a hot second, and therefore it maybe won't fly. There you go. There it is. The commenting stopped immediately. So
There,
Your
yes.
stylist that invited you tonight also has access to this link to send to you too. So if you don't grab it, let them know.
and we
Yep.
will encourage and ask all of our stylists, please follow up with everyone that registered and send it out to them so that they can participate in this. And
There is a code word. I'm sorry. There is a code word for this survey at the end. So it's for you lucky ladies that stayed to the end. Okay. The code word is going to be brand. Okay. Brand.
thought about that detail. I'm really glad. See this
That's why there's 4 of us.
together, we forget the details. So love, love, love. So drop in the chat, and I know we went over by just a little bit, but I'm actually pretty proud of us because we didn't go over by too much, which is pretty impressive because we all like to chit chat. What was one thing you loved about tonight? Share one thing that either spoke to you or that was helpful or informative, authenticity, peace, culture, energy, enthusiasm, the stories, the way you uplift. Aw, this makes me so happy. This is awesome. Well, this is the deal. For those of you that are guests that just loved the whole vibe, you're like, okay, the vibe, I really like your vibe. You could come experience our vibe every single day if you decide to join us. Like, you'll have access to all the vibe all the time.
The vibe was my part. Just kidding. Vibe, aka culture, but
They're
vibe.
saying authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. And you guys,
Yep.
that is one thing I will say about here at Park Lane Jewelry that I did not experience previously is just the ability to really shine in your own light and like be yourself, and how much we truly encourage you in your own gifts to shine. I'm not going to teach you to, I'm going to tell you the things that have made my business great. And Tisha's going to tell you the things that have made her business great. But we are also going to find what makes you shine and help you make your business great because of that. And I think that that is what is so incredibly unique here.
And the one thing I will say, and I'm not just saying it because I don't want to say this as a brag, but there is not a day that goes by that someone doesn't say it's just different here. You guys lead like no other team that we have ever been a part of, that I've ever been a part of before. And it's not because of one person. It is truly not because of one person. It is because I believe Park Lane attracts top talent, and we come together and we leave our title at the door and we just roll up our sleeves and we just are here to serve and help, you know. And I just I just believe so strongly that together we are going to literally make Park Lane a household name. So anyway, thank you.
Somebody said Allie's earrings, my best part of the night. They are good. They are good.
I mean, you get you some, you can get you some in your kit.
That's right.
All right.
It's really made us all so happy. And we're going to end now because number one, I'm launching a brand new stylist here in just a little bit. So I got to get ready for that. But love you all. Have a great evening. Thank you again. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Allie, Lindsay, Sarah.